Wait, do I have anything hanging on my nose?
No, do I?
No.
Good. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, this is North Platte in a nutshell. It is a podcast that I and my friend Ginger here are starting, and the focus of it is to discuss things happening in North Platte, I guess is the best way to put that.
Yeah.
So you want to let people know who you are?
I'm Ginger80. I, of course, live here in North Platte. Have for probably 15 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
And I'm Jerome Windecker. I've lived in North Platte about 10 years now. So no, we are not native to North Platte, but we do live here. And for the foreseeable future, we will be here. And there are things that happen in the city and discussions that we feel need to be had.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's been a lot of times where we have definitely discussed issues or topics that have definitely been in the headlines that we feel need to maybe have a positive light that shed on them. Maybe some more information given about them and correct information, not just the typical rumor mill that's going on.
Right.
So I think that's a lot of what we're trying to do is maybe bring into light the actual facts of topics that are going on.
Of course, to get the facts of the topics that are going on, we will be checking out news articles and doing as much research as we can. But that is where you, our viewers and listeners, come in on that. We would love to have, going forward, people here on the show to talk to small business owners, officials in the city, police officers, first responders. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, really, there is, there is not really any guest I can foresee not having on. Type of guest.
I've never been, like, when we've been talking about that, there's never been really one that we're like, no, we better shy away from that. No, it's, everything's on the table.
Pretty much everything's on the table, yeah. Also, real quick, I can't believe we forgot this, but our third member of the booth is Black Diamond, who you can view in the Lou Room of the Lincoln County Historical Museum, which we're sitting in now. We probably should have started off with that. Sorry, we're new to this. Seth Denny and Colleen Williams, we are not.
Yeah.
But
no,
I'm prettier than Colleen Williams anyway. We want to really thank Jim. We want to thank Lincoln County Historical Museum for letting us use the Lou Room.
It's kind of hard to say, isn't it?
It is kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
Use the Lou Room for our first episode here, and probably going forward, we wind up using it. So.
I think you also see in our kind of web episodes, I guess you could say they are, and our podcast that you'll see us in a lot of different places. We have intentions of definitely going out here on the grounds into the village, out here at the museum, or just doing a podcast or a webisode out at the Buffalo Bill Ranch, just all over. Basically, we could be anywhere.
Yeah, we can move. So again, if there's anybody out there who is a small business owner or something like that who wants to get on here, talk about certain issues, we can certainly move around and we are mobile. We are not stuck in one place, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It is kind of nice. So what we're basically trying to accomplish is, as we said, as Ginger said, bring things in North Platte to light in a positive manner and try and find real solutions and have real honest conversations about them without dipping into negativity and name calling and the kind of stuff you would find on social media. One of the big hot button issues in the city and has been for a very long time, one of the things we'd like to discuss going forward is the Hotel Pawnee and the downtown situation as a whole. I think that is something that we definitely needs to have some open conversation about that whole situation.
Absolutely, especially it can't be the blame game either when it comes to this. It actually has to be solutions that we can actually come up with, that we as a community or neighborhoods or whomever we want to get involved can actually do something with it. It can't just be, well, if we did this, or if we could have a sugar daddy of North Platte come in and just do it for us. Okay, the likelihood of that happening is not likely. So what's the other options? What can we do to actually make something happen down there that we want to see, that we will go down there ourselves and participate in?
Right. Another thing to discuss, we were actually talking about this off air while we were setting up, is the Iron Eagle Golf Course. It's another hot button issue we'll probably end up discussing at some point.
Probably fairly soon.
Probably fairly soon. Probably right now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. At the moment of recording this, we weren't in the eye of the bomb cyclone, I think is what it's being called. But we were certainly in a dead spot. North Platte, we got lucky. We had some high winds. Did you see Swan's Furniture sign, by the way?
Somebody said that they were driving by and it almost fell on their vehicle.
Yeah. So high winds knocked off a sign at a local business, Swan's Furniture. Some trees were uprooted. Mm-hmm. Power lines went down in some places, some tree limbs, that kind of thing. In the grand scheme of things, we got lucky. Friends, like a friend of mine I was telling you who lives in Dannebrog, Nebraska, people to the east of us, especially the north of us, Niobrara River, Loop River, are flooding. People are losing their homes.
Homes are underwater.
Yeah, last I saw, there's at least one confirmed fatality and 2 people missing in Platte County. Very serious situation. To the west of us, they got like fucking 2 feet of snow. Sorry, should have prefaced, there might be cursing.
There will be.
There will be cursing. They got like 2 feet of snow to the west of us. We got high winds, so we lucked out on this one. Eventually, though, that snow is going to melt off. We've seen it year after year. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's not. The melt-off runs down into Lake McConaughey. Lake McConaughey is like, we're full. They open the floodgates. The rivers essentially flood. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that floodwater does go up over the bank, depending on how much snow.
You know, and those floodwaters have definitely affected us here in North Platte many times. In fact, it has affected this location that we are sitting in right now. There's been multiple years where I've been out here helping sandbag to be able to save our county's history, basically. Mm-hmm. So I think the Iron Eagle topic, because of the flooding that is potentially going to happen, is going to come up fairly quickly.
Yeah. And the Iron Eagle situation is basically, for those of you who are new to the area, or maybe friends of ours who live out of the community who are nice enough to tune in and give us some viewership and listenership, thank you so much, is a municipal golf course owned by the city that has not, I don't think it's ever finished in the black.
No, it has not.
It is, so basically this thing has not made one red fucking cent. Period.
Not to mention, see, we might as well just talk about it today.
Let's just go. Let's go. Let's just kick the door open on this bitch.
So, like, not to mention, we have, if I counted correctly, we have the country club, the old country club golf course.
Yep.
We have the Indian Meadows.
We do.
We have the one out by the lake. We
Yes.
have Sutherland.
Yes, Sutherland.
Okay, we can't forget that one.
Nope, cannot forget Sutherland.
We have 4 privately owned golf courses here in just this area, in just this county, that are competing with the municipal golf course.
Right.
Is it really beneficial for our community government to be in a competitive situation with private entities?
Especially on a golf course that is in the floodplain and is prone to flooding, mm-hmm. and has flooded in the past, basically turning an 18-hole golf course into a 9-hole golf course in a swamp. Not to mention just the 4 here in Lincoln County, but also nearby, McCook has an amazing golf course. Gothenburg has a golf course.
Mullen.
Ogallala, Mullen. The golf course, okay, the golf course was created, if I remember my history on this right around what some may call, I'm going to call it that, I've never heard anybody call it that, the Tiger boom. Tiger Woods came in, started playing golf. Everybody was like, ooh, Tiger, we're going to play golf. And golf had a bit of a boom around that time. There were a lot of good golfers at that time, but Tiger Woods, obviously the biggest. Now, as the years have gone by, there's so many golf courses, and I don't think golf is really picking up any new
No, it's not.
players like it did then.
No, statistically, the golfership, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
is actually going down. I mean, there's memberships and clubs that are seeing a decline in their memberships all over the country. It's a
Right.
huge trend. So again, there's a reason why we're not making money in it. I mean,
Yeah,
and we're competing with
right.
with taxpayers.
With taxpayer money has been getting sunk into this thing for damn near 25 years. And again, we haven't lived here that long, but we do pay taxes, mm-hmm. and it's a bitch.
Yeah.
To see every year that place never make any money, and they've brought in new management. They've tried some things. To the city's credit, they have tried some things.
Yes, and I think that's an important thing. Trying some things when you're a community municipal government, I think it is a good thing. I think the fact that they've done that is good, simply because how many times have we seen them just go, well, we've always done it this way.
Right.
So why not just keep doing it?
Well, because the way that they're doing it and the things that they've tried have failed. Miserably.
But when's enough? That's what
exactly.
we're
When
saying.
is
enough?
And I personally think that if it's going to be a city issue, they should put it on the ballot. And the reason they don't is because that thing would get voted out of the city so fast, because it is such a waste of money. My conspiracy theory, if this is what you want to call it, is, and it's something that I heard a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me. There was a movie, I don't know if you ever saw Superman Returns.
No.
Back in like the 2000s? Okay.
No. Of course not. I'm not.
Of course not.
Why would I watch a superhero?
Because it's Superman.
Okay.
It's the one that wasn't very well received. It was the one with Brandon
Well, that's
Routh.
why I haven't seen it.
It was the one with Brandon Routh in it.
I don't know who that is.
Kevin Spacey, who's a name that I don't think we're allowed to say anymore, but because of his scandals.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I don't think I'm allowed to say this, but great Lex Luthor, in my opinion. He played a good Lex Luthor. Anyway, his plan to defeat Superman was to take a piece of Krypton, so a piece of kryptonite, and shoot it into the ocean. Not a great plan, not very convoluted, but shoot it in the ocean and basically put it with some other crystals and some other stuff, and then it would build an island where part of the land was kryptonite. So, and he was going to live there and rule the earth from this, because Superman can't fight there because kryptonite, and kryptonite makes Superman weak.
Right.
Right? Okay. You with me so far? You with me so far?
I have questions, but they're really like...
They're not important to
Exactly.
the point I'm going to get to here in a minute. So, as with all Superman stories, Lex Luthor kidnaps Lois Lane, does his villain speech, gives away his master plan, and he says that his father told him a long time ago to invest in things that people need. And what's the one thing they're not making any more of?
Land.
Yes, exactly. It's the one thing they're not making any more of. The city, I don't think, wants to get rid of it because it's land. And whether they keep it as a golf course or not, the city owns that land.
There's a whole other aspect of that, too, though.
Yeah,
Because the whole land, if we want to get on that, was actually gifted to the city.
it was.
And there's a whole thing there that they're not sure if they can give it back because there's tax reasons, all kinds of different things.
Right.
So there's gray area in that.
Right.
There's a whole lot of people. I'm not even sure if the city administration knows exactly what's going on with that aspect.
Well, the last thing I read on it, and again,
Because
this
there's
was...
lawyers involved.
Right, and this was a while ago, that the family who donated it, and that's irrelevant. So, but the family who donated it, I think part of the agreement was that the family, for 3 generations, so it was the gifters, their kids, their grandkids, get to play on this golf course for free. That was part of the agreement, from my understanding, or maybe half price or whatever. And then if the land is not used for a golf course, then it reverts back to the family and the city can no longer use it. The point I'm getting at is, if this family wanted to play golf for free on this plot of land, they should have made their own fucking golf course and left the city out of it.
See, and I'm not sure. I've never heard that, actually.
See, and that could have been, and that was from an article that was written years ago, a few years ago. I remember reading it thinking, why the hell? Because it was a big, long, in-depth article about why there's the golf course, the agreement, all of that. And I believe in there it said that the family gifted the golf course and they get to play on it for a discount or for free.
They probably do.
And they probably
That
do.
one.
And then if they don't keep it as a golf course, then it reverts back.
We should find that out for sure, though.
Yeah, we should find that out for sure, but I'm pretty sure that that's the deal. Even if it's not the deal, this golf course loses money year after year. It is prone to flooding. It has never been a benefit. They don't have, like, I don't think they do the Cowboy Golf Scramble during Nebraska Land Days at that golf course, do
No,
they?
it's out the lake.
Yeah, it's out at the lake. I've never heard of them doing anything at that golf course to try and bring in golfers.
The only thing that they have done there was a few years ago is we had state golf
Okay.
for high school.
Okay, high school state golf was there a few
But
years
it was
ago.
like class B or D or something. I don't know.
Right.
One of the classes.
Right. But the point is, nobody's going to that golf course. The numbers don't lie. So,
And if people are, it's not enough to actually keep it going and keep it relevant.
right. So we're throwing good money after bad when that money could be used for schools, roads, take your pick, downtown renovations, take your, whatever. So my thought is that maybe with the large amount of snow we have in the West and the eventual runoff from that, that this will finally be the apocalyptic event, which will just wash the golf course away. Just down the river.
He's already told me that if that happens, he's going live on Facebook and
I will.
going to document all of it.
All of it as it deteriorates away.
Hole by hole.
It'll be like that movie. Have you ever seen 2012?
Yes.
Okay, when Woody Harrelson's on the mountain waiting to get hit with a lava rock, that's going to be me on that golf course. I'm just going to be like, it's happening! I'm right where I need to be! People will be like, leave, it's going to flood. I'll be like, no!
There's a
All
refrigerator
crazy.
coming down the river. Move.
All of it. I'll just, I may walk up to the edge and just be like, just kick a little into the river, get it started. I don't know. I'll either be locked up or I'll be hailed as a hero. Taxpayers will be like, you got rid of the golf course. I'll just be out there.
Watch there be like a whole pool of people. They'd be like, we'll bail them out. Let's go.
Right? I'm just out there on the edge with a garden hoe, just like digging it up, hoping that I can create a fault line where it just... Anyway, so those are the kinds of things that I think ultimately we want to talk about.
And, okay, I'm going to keep going on this.
Okay, go.
Because, okay, here's the thing, too. When you talk about this topic right here,
Mm-hmm.
this is not just, like, in some topics, there is very much a generational line in it.
Yes.
Okay? This one, when you start talking about this, and everybody's like, well, wait a second here. I don't really like this thing. Or some people, honestly, I've never heard anybody say, I'm in favor of the golf course.
I have seen, and I mean, we live in a digital world, so you see comments online, and that whenever it's brought up, and it's been a while since it's been brought up. It's
About a year.
Been kind of quiet. Here we go. There are a few people that are like, oh, it's a beautiful golf course, or I golf there all the time. But the amount of people who stick up for it, the amount, or rather the amount of people against it, far outweigh the amount of people that are for it.
Here's my question. I would love to talk to somebody who is for this golf course. And I would, if there's anybody, I would love to talk to you, and we would love to have you on, purely for the fact that this is very intriguing. I would love to hear why you're in favor. Not just because it's beautiful and it's fun to golf, but let's look at, like, facts here. Okay? Let's look at facts. How often do you go? How much money is being spent? Do you have a membership there? Are you renting the golf courses? Are you buying drinks? Who else is playing there? How many people there do you see on a daily basis or whenever you are there? Those kind of things. Because those are what I believe is going to make this thing really go away or stay in the massive thought of all of it.
Yeah. The only time I've ever gone golfing in Lincoln County, it was years ago, me and some friends decided to take a day out and go golfing, and we went to Indian Meadows. You know what I mean? Like
we golf there all the time.
Yeah, we didn't even think about Iron Eagle at all. And here's the interesting thing, though. It seems like in the summer, whenever I drive by, there always seems to be at least one golf cart on it. Not every time, but on the weekends, there might be a golf cart out there.
In the summer, spring, and fall, because we drive out there a lot, because I live out that way, that there is somebody on that course.
Right.
Constantly. But every time I drive by, there's always somebody on that course.
Right.
Always.
Right, and there was a couple of years ago when I worked in radio. Some of you people may remember me from that. I was also trying to do sales in radio, and my sales area was Ogallala. And I went to their golf course, and it was just a random, like, Wednesday in May. It was a beautiful day. They were just getting the season going, and I had to sit and wait to talk to the golf manager about possibly running some ads or something because they were so busy with people going out there to golf that I sat there for half an hour before I even got to speak to the person to give them my card and then say, I see you're busy, I'll be back another time. So take that kind of activity where there's always somebody golfing somewhere, or a place that's extremely busy. And there were people, to be fair, in Ogallala that were multi-generational. People our age, people younger, people older out there. And then you take a golf course that every time you drive by, you never see anybody out there. Floods, doesn't make money. You know what I mean? So there's to the average person, the average taxpayer, the average citizen of the city, you look at it and you think, why the hell are we wasting so much time and effort and more importantly, tax money that could go to a myriad of other things?
How about playgrounds here in the community? Our parks.
Oh my God. There's a playground here at Cody Park. I took my daughter to a couple of years ago. So she was like 1.5. It was a nice day. We took her out, and there was one of those little tubes you can crawl through, but the top of the tube was broken. It's still broken.
Yeah.
2 years later.
Okay, here's another topic.
See,
this is how we go.
This is how we do.
We just get going on one topic, and it typically leads to another.
Right.
But okay, the parks and the playgrounds are another great example. The people that run that, Lyle Mitchell, I don't know if we should even say names. We may have to edit this part out. Should we?
Well, he does direct the park.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Okay. Lyle does a fantastic job doing what he does with the money that he is giving. I mean, he can't do something with what he doesn't have.
Right.
So at what point do we as a community also come together and be like, you know what? That playground right there, we like that, but it needs to be redone. What do we need to do? But if we had this golf course that was gone, maybe that money could be funneled towards that a little bit more.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Well, and there goes that, what was it, a 50-cent sales tax that was on the ballot this past November. I don't like paying any more for my groceries than anybody else. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm as strapped for cash as anybody. But the money that was going to be raised from that 50-cent sales tax was going to be geared towards those things specifically. Recreation, parks, trails, all the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Wishing we had, or that are in desperate need of repair. Again, credit to Lyle. And I'd love to have him on sometime.
Yeah.
Their Christmas at Cody Park every year is so much fun.
He does so good.
He does a great job, again, with what he's given. If he could have a little bit more, because they do have a new playground out there.
Yeah. It's on the east side. No, west side. West side.
Yeah, west side. The other playgrounds are adequate, but they are falling apart. They are in somewhat disrepair. That's just Cody Park. That's not to mention the other parks.
Here's one of the other issues, too, that is starting to happen, that we're going to have a problem very, very quickly. Those playgrounds are so old that as things are needing to be replaced, they can no longer replace them because the parts are no longer being made.
So they have to build a complete new playground.
Or they have to completely fabricate something, which I'm probably sure they are very good at that, but these are our children.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, I've been to some parks where I have to tell my kids, you can't go down that slide because the bottom of the slide is all chewed out and they're going to fall on their butt or scrape their leg, or the rivets that hold the slide on the bottom are sticking up. Now, I know back in our day, we would get on a 1,000-degree metal slide and leave a layer of skin on it and go back for more. But times have changed. And I'm not saying my kids are,
those were good times.
Those were good times, dude. I mean, the thing, you could grab the bars on the side. I know I'm not the only one who's done this. Grab the bars on the side from the underside and walk up the stairs on those metal ones and flip yourself over.
Yep.
I mean, everything was steel. It was metal. It was hot. So yes, we have some kids that play on plastic now. That's just what we have, okay? Plastic deteriorates over time and it needs to be repaired. Again, money that's being funneled to something that is a detriment to the community could be refocused on things that could be beneficial.
Okay, and let's go down this road too. Let's say, okay, the city does not want to give that back. Okay?
Okay.
Don't give it back. Let's turn it into a walking park. Why can't it be another park? Why can't it actually be utilized and then take those areas that actually flood and do something constructive with them?
Mm-hmm. Well, my wife and I were talking about this earlier too. That area, especially because we were talking about the flooding, that could, it's not a foregone conclusion, but it's definitely a possibility with the snow and all of that. There are businesses down there. They're building more businesses down there. There's a new hotel going up there in that area on Halligan Drive. There is a new brewery that's being built out there. You got the golf course. You have, I believe, a printing shop is still out there in like a small office complex. There's a couple small office complexes with stuff. Cody Park is on that road. Budke Power Sports is on that road. There's a lot of stuff there, but in that big empty space between like Newberry and Cody Park, they are building, and the school essentially, they are building a lot out there. Downtown, there is a plan to put a small little park, not necessarily a playground, but a place for people to go and have lunch, a little walking park. If that area down there on Halligan continues to boom the way that it is, especially with the hotel across the street, directly across the street from the golf course, there could be a benefit to having a little gazebo, walking park, nature trails, something like that in that area for that place. There's residents that live there. I mean, there's housing there that I'm assuming some of them have kids. Maybe a playground would be good for them down the road.
Okay, so when you start to look at travel and tourism, okay, what's the number one activity that they would do when they are out on vacation is, one, get ice cream.
Yeah.
You know what else they want? Trails. They want walking trails. They want to go see the community. They want to go out in nature. They want to be out there doing things.
Right.
So that would be perfect right there.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have something like that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't either. It makes sense.
We would love to know.
We would love to know. So, as we say, we would love to know. You're probably like, I want to tell you, maybe. Or maybe you're like, I know somebody who can tell you. Here's how you get in touch with us, and we'll give you more information, and we'll share this on the socials and all that, and put this in the description as well. But we do have a website. It is npnutshell, all together, at gmail.com. Feel free to email us.
Not a website. Start that over.
Or no, email address.
Start that over.
We don't have a website yet.
Just start over. We don't have a website.
We don't have a website. We have an email address.
If you'd like to get a hold of us.
If you would like to get a hold of us, you can email us, npnutshell, all one word, at gmail.com. That is an email that we both have access to. We'll be checking for comments, for people who want to be guests, for anybody who knows somebody who might want to be on or able to answer some of the questions that we have about the golf course or things going on in the city. This is not, we could have said this in the beginning, but now would be a good time to say that since we're putting this out there. This is not just a Ginger and Jerome thing. We want this to be very much interactive and involve the city of North Platte, because again, it's North Platte in a nutshell. So we want to know what's going on with people. We want to know show ideas, conversation topics, questions.
We really want to be careful not to focus on the bad things too.
Yes.
We want to definitely look at the good things.
Right.
Because North Platte is a good place. I mean, we've been here for a considerable amount of time, and we, like Jerome said, we don't anticipate either one of us leaving anytime soon.
No.
I mean, our families are here. We are raising both of our children's families here. I mean, you name it. So we do like this place. We want to see it grow. We want to see it prosper and do its best that it can. So in order to do that, I think we need to, we can look at the negative side, but let's not just float in that space and stay there.
Right.
Let's look at solutions.
Like, for instance, not that I want to highlight any of this, but I saw something today that kind of shows, I don't want to say the overall negativity of North Platte. I think it's fair to say that some of the most negative are some of the most vocal, so it seems to be a prevalent thing. But today, somebody who's new to our community asked on one of our group community Facebook pages, No Limits. Mm-hmm. So there's some health clubs doing that. Anytime Fitness is currently doing something like that. The radio station I worked for did that for a couple of years, so it's out there. First comment somebody throws out there. First one is, that would be you moving to North Platte. Basically saying, this person, hey, you're the biggest loser. And then somebody called them out on it, and they're like, I was just joking. No, you were shitposting. There's a difference between just joking and being an internet troll. I
mean, you didn't know that. That person didn't know that person whatsoever.
No, as far as I could tell, no. They didn't know him at all. Just, you moving here makes you the biggest loser. Derp. There was, derp. Perfect example is recently a couple who works for the TV station were getting ready to move here. You saw this.
Yes. This irritated a lot of us.
Oh, so many. And this is what I would say was the final straw in creating this.
Yeah.
And trying to do it in a positive way. But they moved here. Before they moved here, one of them got on No Limits. And I don't want to call out the No Limits. It just seems to be it's the most popular one. So
yeah.
Asking, hey, we're moving from where we live to the community. We'd like to know what is there to do. Like, give us an idea of your community. They will be looking for stores, activities, nice things. Fuck, man.
It went downhill fast.
So fast.
I mean, the amount of negativity that was on that one post for everything, no matter, like you said, the stores, things to do. I'm sorry, there are things to do here. There's actually a lot of things to do. Were you around last weekend? There was 5 million things going on, and you just had to take a pick as to what you wanted to do.
This weekend, there's things coming up, which we'll get to.
Yeah, I mean...
yeah, there was the activity, drinking. Like, people are like, oh, Nebraska Land Day is just a drunk fest. If you choose to make it so, then yes, it is.
Exactly.
And it got to a point that a few people, I know a mutual friend of ours.
Yeah, a couple mutual friends.
Yeah, reached out to a community of people. This is how I found out about it, because one of them reached out to me and said, hey, have you seen this shit?
Yeah, that's how I found out about it too.
Right, and so then there was a bombardment of positive things that came in.
And what came from that was really telling, because they actually went out and did a lot of those things. And they came back and said, wow, that was amazing. The amount of positivity and ideas that they gave us to actually go out and experience North Platte was absolutely fabulous. And they love it. They love it here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you gotta take the good and the bad.
Right.
And let's focus here.
Right. And there are some things, I mean, it would be naive to say that there are some things that this city, or, the city can improve on some things. Mm-hmm. It would be naive to say, no, it's perfect the way it is. And that's part of what this is talking about what those solutions look like, how we can tackle it in a positive way, and not just how the people in power can, but how to empower people like us and like you to get out and do things and make things better and be the change you want to see.
I mean, it has to start with the grassroots somewhere. It really does.
Yeah.
It has to start somewhere with a group of people wanting to actually do something to make it better. We can't rely on our city officials or the government to be able to do it all the time here in the county or wherever you are. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to find a way to do it.
And that
or at least put a voice to be able to push them to do something we want them to do.
Exactly. And that is one thing that I will say. I've talked to a few people that have some ideas for the city, some that have actually approached the city about them. And that is the one thing I think that lacks. Instead of getting on Facebook and saying, we need and for the record, I will state once again, we do not need a fucking Olive Garden. But we need a blank.
Or Red Lobster.
Or Red Lobster. Or an Old Navy. We will talk about those things at another time. One thing that the city loves is when you present them with a plan. Mm-hmm. And say, this is how we do it. This is what it will cost. Here's where the funding comes from. Here's what I need from you, the city. Those types of things gather more approval than just, we need this! And you type it on your keyboard and then you just throw it out in the ether and then that's where you leave it.
That's not actually presenting it to the city and actually being able to get anything done. There are hoops that you have to jump through.
I personally like to think of it as, I mean, we live in a meme culture of the meme where it's a bunch of, like, obviously rich old dudes with cigars laughing. And it's like, and then they posted, we need an Olive Garden. That's as far as it goes. No, and I'm not saying that they are all mean old white guys with cigars. I'm just saying that's as far as it goes when you do that kind of thing. So we will also, down the road again, this is only episode 1, discuss some plans on, hey, you want this? Here's how you go about doing it.
Maybe even bring a city council person on to be able to talk to us about how we maybe go about getting some of these things.
That would be fantastic. That's the main thing, too, to get a point across to anybody listening who's thinking of coming on. We don't want to bring anybody on to attack them. Mm-hmm. We may hit some hard questions. Like if a city official came in here, that's one of the first questions I'm going to ask is, why the hell are we holding on to this golf course we don't need? Or seemingly don't need? we're not going to ask too many easy questions when it comes to certain things. But we also want to have fun too. We'd love to have some fun guests on. Are you weird? Are you quirky? Do you have some weird talent or strange thing that you do? Do you have a strange business? I mean, there's got to be somebody, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, again, if you want to email us, it's npnutshell altogether at gmail.com. You can also hit us up on our social media accounts, which obviously you're
Seeing it. Well, maybe the shares.
This shares. Does it share?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it?
I don't know. What are you talking about? The camera shares?
No, not.
Oh, I was going to say, you got one of those cameras?
No, I don't have one of those.
Oh,
No.
bummer.
I mean, like, they share it on Facebook. So
Yeah,
they may
share it
not
on
see
Facebook.
that it's on MP Nutshell because of the way it goes.
Yeah, but either way, or we're accessible people. We gave you our names.
We do.
You can look us up on Facebook. We gave you our full names. I will stop before addresses.
We did.
We did. That's okay.
Totally care.
I mean, we live in a small enough community. People are going to watch the video and be like,
Oh, I know them.
yeah, I've seen that dude. I've seen her around before. She was a Miss Habitat contestant.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, speaking of this past weekend, our lovely co-host, Ginger, was one of the contestants for Habitat for Humanity's Miss Habitat competition.
Yes.
How was that?
It was fun. It
Yeah.
was absolutely fun. The women that we actually all did this with, they were all fantastic. And Officer Lisa Sitta, she was the one who won. She was absolutely marvelous. She raised a lot of money, so she did absolutely great. But, okay, let's go into Habitat for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we have a housing issue here in North Platte as well.
Yes.
This is another topic that will be discussed.
So much to talk about.
No, there is.
There is.
And unfortunately, there's no one good answer to that one. But when you look at that realm of what we have and what's going on, Habitat for Humanity is one who is actually doing something to
Right.
be able to help this whole thing of this housing issue, creating affordable housing, getting people into houses who maybe wouldn't have been able to go out and buy one on the regular market. I mean, they're helping to solve a problem here. So, I mean,
Well, and I think that's one of the criteria, if I remember correctly, because I competed in Mr. Habitat a couple of years ago. And I believe that was one of the criteria to be selected for a Habitat house is you have to be a person who can't secure a home loan through
Yes.
traditional means. So somebody with, bad credit, shady past, whatever your issue is, you go into a bank and they just laugh. Cigars again. Then they ask for a home loan. That's what Habitat's for.
yeah.
And
I mean,
it's amazing what they these aren't crap houses.
no. And these houses, and once these families get these houses, it literally does change their lives.
Yes.
It literally does. I have a friend that I grew up with who, her mother, they had a really horrible background, of all kinds of horrible things were going on. They had nowhere to live. They were literally homeless until Habitat for Humanity in my hometown came up and was like, here, we want to help you guys. They helped to build it. They made the payments, and her mother still lives in that house today.
Yeah.
It changed their lives.
Right, and it's a great organization. And I know that some people who don't know enough about it or think they know everything about it, because I got questions like this and I'm sure you did too, and I know that other contestants told me their frustration with this kind of thing. People assume it's a handout.
No.
It's not.
They make payments.
Yeah, they make payments, and they have to put what's called sweat equity into the home. So that means they either have to help build it, help move materials.
They have to help find volunteers to help
Find
build the
volunteers
house.
to build the house. They have to, in some instances, it may just be making lunch for the people building the house, show up and make sandwiches or whatever. They have to put some kind of work towards this house, which makes it, in my opinion, would make it even better. Because I went down, I got a home loan, my wife and I, we bought a house. I would assume, though, a person who has to actually put some work into their own home makes their home that much more special. So Habitat for Humanity is a great organization. They have a office here in North Platte. And again, we'd love to have some Habitat people on
We would.
to talk. I don't foresee, hopefully, this is just throwing this out there for anybody watching or knows anybody, I don't really foresee us having any shortage of the types of guests we can have on.
No.
And if you'd like to be on, even if you'd like to just come on and shoot
And
the
talk
shit.
with us. I mean, what the hell? We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. We really, I mean, it's just...
There will be no brawls, though.
No brawls.
It'll be civil.
Civil. Nudity,
We'll still be friends afterwards.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, too, that we have actually talked about. You see it on a local scale, a national scale, social media, everywhere. Civil discourse. The ability to sit down and just disagree about a certain topic. Hash it out. Discuss, even if you don't come to any kind of consensus, even if you still share your view, I still share mine. And being able to part amicably, knowing that we share these different views, but that doesn't mean this is a terrible person.
Yeah.
Or they're this, that, or the other. The identity politics of things and stuff has gotten so out of hand. Especially on a local level, guys. Come on. It kind of has in some instances. I think that we need to learn how to have civil conversations again. And I'd love to have that.
Exactly. And I think where there's disagreement, there's also a place to be able to, come to some kind of middle ground there too.
There can be.
Problems can be solved in that situation.
Absolutely.
And I think this is definitely a platform that maybe we can help facilitate that.
Yes. So we would love to do that. If you're interested, again, we're not here to beat anybody up or tear anybody down. We actually do want to lift people up. And that may be uncomfortable in some instances. So it's just kind of how it is. It's how life works. So anyway, so coming up though, this weekend, I know one thing in particular that is going on, and tickets are going fast. The Flat Rock Roller Derby team.
Yep.
They are having their only home bout of the season, and that is happening this Saturday at the DNN Event Center. Tickets are going fast, so the best thing to do is to get on their website at just Google Flat Rock Roller Derby and get tickets that way. You can try to get them at the door, but a lot of the time those things sell out.
Yeah, typically there's been times where we've helped at the door, and there's like 10 tickets.
Yeah.
10 tickets that they only have available to sell at the door. So seriously, if you want to get tickets, get online and get them.
Yeah. And I'm going to be announcing, so...
And I'll be taking pictures.
You will be taking pictures.
I
You
am.
did last time.
I know.
I know. So it's fun to help them out. Now, right there is a group of ladies who, they're positive, they're a good thing for the community, they work really hard. The roller derby team, for those who don't know, they're actually considered a nonprofit organization, but through their nonprofit, their whole goal is to better the community and help other nonprofits.
They've helped Deborah's Legacy.
Deborah's Legacy, 308 BMX is another one. There was, I can't think of the name of it, but a nursing organization here in town, or like traveling nurses or something.
Oh, see, I
like
don't know
that.
about that one.
I believe this Saturday they're helping Kids Club.
Oh, see? Great cause. Great cause.
So there are some fundraisers that happen at the bout to help with that. So again, that's happening this Saturday. I can't think of, I know there's some other stuff, but because I'm announcing, like that's what I'm focusing on this weekend. But I know there's other things going on this weekend as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. You just have to get on line somewhere and just go find them out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on. There always is.
There is always stuff going on.
And if there's not, it's that luxurious weekend where you just get to like stay at home and like actually relax.
Yeah. Netflix and fall asleep 30 minutes into it. That's what I do.
That's what my Michael does. But that's what my husband does.
Yeah.
Falls asleep. And then I watch the shows.
Yeah. I mean, there have been a lot of times that I'm like laughing at something and I look over and my wife's just sleeping and I'm just like, I'll rewatch it when she wakes up.
Oh, there's been times where like he's missed like the last 3 episodes of a series that we're watching, and then he's all perturbed and mad and pissed off because like he didn't get to see it. I'm like, well, it was really good. I'm not watching it again because we're on to another one.
See, and that happened to me, and thankfully my wife is one of those that will. Like, we got really hooked on The 100. I don't know if you've...
No, what's that one?
Oh my God. The 100. I will try and keep it short. A lot of stuff happens, but the basics of it is it's 100 years after the apocalypse. Nuclear apocalypse.
That sounds interesting already.
Yes. Humanity tried to save itself by shooting space stations, right? And it orbits Earth. And then there's a bunch of space stations. That
Wait, I think I just saw this one.
Yeah.
And there's people still trapped on Earth, though?
No, they're not trapped on Earth, but they send... It's kind of fucked up, actually. In order for their society to work, they have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to crime. So you can kill somebody or you can steal some medication. Doesn't matter. Death sentence. Period. Unless you're under 18. Then you're thrown in jail until you turn 18, and I believe
And then
you
they
can...
kill you.
Yes, they either kill you... right? They either kill you at 18, or I think you can appeal your sentence. Depending on the severity.
God, that sucks.
So, they find out that their space station is not going to be able to survive the full 100 years that they're supposed to stay in space until the ground is able to be habitable. So they take 100 kids from jail, they're going to die anyway, death sentence anyway, and shoot them down to the ground. And they're supposed to radio back and be like, yes, it's habitable, or we're dying of radiation. And then it goes from there. But there are survivors on the ground from the nuclear apocalypse, and so good. The first episode I watched, because it was on the CW originally on TV, and I think they're going into their 5th or 6th season.
Wow.
So it's still on. The first half an episode, you're like, what is this CW bullshit? Like, you're watching, and it's just a bunch of young kids, and there's a little bit of that, like, indie, emo music playing, and you have some of the, like, will they or won't they-ish, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That very young adult, like, what is this Divergent bullshit? Like, seriously, like, what is this Hunger Games ass stuff?
Yeah.
And then it gets, like, full-on Hunger Games. Like, at one point, you're just watching it, and I was literally sitting on my couch watching the first episode, like, because my sister-in-law, who is 20, told us about it. And she's like, it's so good. And I'm like, of course you think it's good.
Because it's like Hunger Games.
Right? And then out of nowhere, this dude gets tacked to a tree by a spear.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then I'm like,
Well, that was cool.
what's happening? And then from there, I'm just like, so I'd fall asleep, and she's like, how much did you see? So I'd tell her, and she's like, oh my God. And then the next night, we'd watch the whole episode, because we couldn't just start from the point I fell asleep. Yeah, so my wife's nice enough.
I don't. If he falls asleep, you're on your own, dude. Watch it, like, when I'm at the gym or something, because, like, I'm not going to watch it again.
What if it's one of those that it's an older series or whatever, but it's on its, like, series finale, and it ends, and it's over? You still
Maybe. It would have to be, like, really, really good.
Okay.
Like, The Sopranos, like, everybody says that's the greatest ending to a series ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's fucked up. It's just like, blank screen.
Yeah.
No! Fucking tell me, did they get shot the hell up, or did they just go on living their lives?
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. That is a sucky ending.
But in some people's eyes, it's absolutely genius. Because you let the viewer's imagination go wherever they want to go with it.
Right.
And it is considered one of the greatest series of all time.
It is. I've never seen a single episode, though.
Yeah.
Never.
No.
There are some of those, like, greatest series ever that I've never seen an episode of The Sopranos, never watched an episode of Walking Dead.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Nope.
None of that.
Nope.
Yeah, and when people are like, well, how could you possibly... Have you ever seen Santa Clarita Diet? That shit's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Oh my God, that show's so good.
Show.
Oh my God, and their new season is coming at the end of the month.
Yeah, and that's a hilarious one. Peaky Blinders.
I have that on my list, but I haven't
It is
seen it yet.
so good.
Is it?
It is so good.
Oh my God. I have it on my list.
I love it. Sinner.
I haven't watched that yet.
That is super good. We just finished it last night, the night before.
Oh yeah?
Very good.
Sinner. I'll have to look at that.
Has Jessica Biel in it.
Oh, well then, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good with that.
She's totally batshit crazy in a sense, but very good show.
We just started watching Schitt's Creek.
I couldn't get into that.
See, and I don't know, it's kind of slow. We just kind of started watching it, so. And one that when my wife won't be watching because she's just not into that kind of stuff, but I just started watching Penny Dreadful.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh my God.
You.
What?
That's the name of the show, You.
Oh, You. I've heard that's good.
It is good. Very
Okay.
freaky. Very freaky.
Very.
Yeah.
So, now that we've gone through our Netflix, now you all know what kind of shows we're into.
Which,
Weird shit.
yeah.
We're into some weird shit, people.
Yeah.
So, I guess, to put it in a nutshell, this is North Platte in a nutshell. I'm Jerome. This is Ginger. This is Black Diamond, who will be joining us in future episodes.
Yes.
And hopefully, we have some really great future episodes. Again, though, we're going to need help from you guys and your suggestions, you coming on, what you'd like to talk about. This is certainly, that was one of the things that we talked about right at the beginning, is we want this to be inclusive.
Yes.
With other people, and we want it to be as interactive as possible. So that's kind of what we need from you people. So interact with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or Instagram. We have an Instagram too.
Yeah.
Instagram is NP Nutshell. Facebook, North Platte in a Nutshell. Email address, npnutshell, all together, at gmail.com. Or if you happen to know us, you can hit us up on Facebook.
And you can always message us through our Facebook, North Platte in a Nutshell, too, to get hold of us.
Absolutely.
There's always that.
Yes, or you can, I'm assuming we're putting this on YouTube. I created a channel.
Yeah.
Okay, then, or you could comment on the and this is the other fun part, is you get to see this build and grow.
Yeah.
As we build and grow it.
So it's going to be fun, okay, let's say 6 months.
Okay, yeah.
This is going to look completely archaic, and we're just going to be like, God, that was a shit.
Right? We're going to watch it and be
That
like,
was going to be a shit show.
the fuck? We didn't have a desk or nothing. The fuck we have a buffalo for? What is that even doing there? It makes no sense. We know.
It does make sense, though, in our heads right now.
Right, to future us, this seemed like a really good idea at the time. Just remember, you guys sat down and talked about this, and you were like,
We even had a third person be like, yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, we had another person go, of course, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
It did at the time. So again, we want to thank Jim, and we want to thank Lincoln County Museum. Historical Museum, thank you.
If you've never been out here, I highly encourage you. There's just a plug for him. And also, I must say, what we say is not the views of the museum at all. This is just us. He's letting us use this.
Yeah, he was nice enough to give us a piece of North Platte to present to you folks. And again, we're mobile. We can
go anywhere.
So we're hoping to do this in a lot of different pieces of North Platte. Again, inside businesses. I'd go into somebody's house. I don't care.
I have a story about a house here in town. It has a dungeon in the bottom of it, or in the basement of it. And there's no, and Jim can tell us more someday, when we have him on.
Yeah, we should have him on.
I know we should.
We should.
We should.
We should.
Okay.
We will.
But he's told me, there's no rhyme or reason as to why there's this, jail cell dungeon thing in the bottom of this house. It was never a sheriff's house, nothing like that. So that would be a cool one.
I think I know.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, why would you have a dungeon in your house? Is this your playroom, like Xbox or something? Oh, bitch. You're talking about chains and shit. Anyway, sorry. Or maybe it was an unknown superhero in North Platte, somebody.
Or it was a serial killer.
Or it was a shit, that's possible. Have they ever dug up that basement?
I don't know.
It's going to turn into some Geraldo shit here real quick. Some of you may not remember Geraldo and Al Capone's vault. We're going to end up going in somebody's
I don't even know that.
You don't know about... Oh, my God. All right. History lesson for you young kids. There was this thing called talk shows.
Oh, my God.
That our mothers would watch at home when they were supposed to be doing dishes and shit.
Shut up.
They came on after soap operas.
Oh, my God.
All My Children was my jam. I'm just saying. When I was younger, summertime, All My Children was where I was at. Anyway. Susan Lucci.
I like Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives was all right, but have you tried General Hospital?
No, is it even still on?
Give me some of that General Hospital in the vein.
This just went downhill fast.
So fast. This is how it's going to go. Anyway, and we're leaving all of this in. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we are. Why not? This is us.
It is.
Another show I've never seen a single episode of. Anyway.
I have.
I haven't.
I've seen a couple. And then I kind of missed an episode. I'm like, I'm lost now.
Yeah. You can always tell if you miss an episode of a show and you're like, that show wasn't for you. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, so Geraldo Rivera had a talk show a long time ago. He was on this massive expedition. He was going to open Al Capone's vault. And obviously this was years after he was dead. Never been opened. Nobody knows what's in this vault. And he's thinking, everybody's speculating. This was way back in the 80s.
There's nothing in it, isn't there?
Right. Nothing. Everybody was speculating there could be money. There could be... Because he was...
Dead bodies,
guns. the only thing they were ever able to get Al Capone on was tax evasion. Even though everybody knew he was this ruthless gangster, nobody could ever tie him to the
Right.
murders and the gun running and the liquor running and all that. There could be evidence to officially tie him to those things. All of that kind of stuff. Like, nobody knew. They opened it up, and it was just like a couple moths, man. It was empty as fuck. Geraldo was just standing there with a microphone, like, just assed out on live TV.
Knowing him, yeah, I was
Yeah.
just going to say, knowing him is live. Everything has to be live.
It was live. And he opened it up, and I think there might have been some documents in there that were nothing. Just nothing. And everybody was like, oh, dude, what a letdown. So I'm just foreseeing in the future, those of us, like us, a year later watching this back, do not take a pickaxe to that basement. There's nothing buried under there. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
However, never mind. We're not going to go down the Andy Cook road.
Oh, but we should sometime.
We should.
We
Just
should.
Not now.
For those who don't know the Andy Cook story, and that's one that a lot of people in North Platte know, but it's surprising how many people in North Platte don't know it.
Yeah. Have you ever read that book?
Oh my God, dude, nightmares. It actually gave, and I don't
Yeah.
get nightmares real easy.
The part where she, like, stuck the poker in the fire.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
Stuck that on her niece's face right in the mole. I was like, oh my God.
The worst one for me was when she had it as the poor farm.
Yeah.
That part of the book, I mean, that whole book from beginning to end is absolutely horrendous. But
Yeah.
that section made my stomach turn. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We will discuss that on a future episode, that is for sure. So we're hoping, obviously, to have future episodes and hoping to have you all involved in that. So, again, hit us up, npnutshell@gmail.com.
Yep.
Here on the Facebook page, on our Instagram, npnutshell.
YouTube.
YouTube, you can comment us on YouTube, or if you know us personally, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're personable people.
We are,
We are,
for the most part.
for the most part. So, I think that was good for the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of gave everybody a good idea of what to expect.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
mean,
so.
I think we covered a lot of really good topics
Yeah.
to begin with. Just to give a little bit of it
Mm-hmm.
to show, like, what
Right.
we're going to do.
And this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing.
Yep, me, Ginger, and Black Diamond back here. It's just how we roll.
With the buffalo.
They're not going to let me sit on it when I want to.
We need to feed the cows.
We got it. Yeah, there's some cows over here. Sometime we'll have to just kind of take you on a tour of the
It is
museum.
cool out
Give you
here.
an
If you've
idea.
never been out here, you should definitely come. There's an exhibit about the World War II canteen here in North Platte, the orphan trains. There's a full village in the back. I mean, cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And they do a great job at Christmas.
Absolutely.
And they have an awesome haunt at Halloween
They do.
as well. So check them out. Lincoln County Historical Museum. Again, big thank you
Yes.
for letting us use your facility for the night. Hopefully we can use it again in the future.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll do this.
I'm sure. All right. Well, this has been North Platte in a nutshell. I'm Jerome.
I'm Ginger.
See you later.
Bye.